Mr. Chairman, tax reform is an interesting topic for the Energy Subcommittee hearing. Why tax reform? When we consider we do not have jurisdiction over tax policy. Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, I cannot sit here as if this is business as usual when we are currently facing a tragedy that is taking place as we speak at our southern border. If we are going to deviate in this hearing from the issues that are actually related to our jurisdiction, then let's deviate, Mr. Chairman. I believe that time and our nation will be better served by speaking up and speaking out against the Trump administration's mean-spirited, racist, and immoral new policy of separating immigrant children from their parents. Mr. Chairman, this new policy is a blatant attempt to use these innocent young babies as pawns in the president's sick and twisted political game for getting what he wants in regards to immigration policy. The fact of the matter, Mr. Chairman, is that Republicans control every branch of the government, and they should be able to govern and enact policy that reflects their core values. Mr. Chairman, babies unborn and babies born must be our nation's priority. Ripping young children away from their parents in order to extort money for a wall is both evil and inhumane, and it is about time that members of the Republican Party stand up to the entitled blowhard currently occupying the White House. The silence by so many Republican members of Congress in light of so many misguided, asinine, and un-American decisions by this administration is both shameful and telling. The fact of the matter, Mr. Chairman, is that either my Republican colleagues endorse and agree with this policy of separating families at the border for political gain, or they are opposed to it, or they have decided that their political futures are more important than the character and reputation of our great nation. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Pallone and I, along with many of our Democratic colleagues, will be sending Chairman Walden and Health Subcommittee Chairman Burgess a letter later today requesting a hearing as soon as possible to address this issue. We need to examine how many of these children have been forcibly separated from their parents and forced into custody of the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Settlement. We also need, Mr. Chairman, to examine what type of mental and psychological damage and severe trauma that these children are being subject to stemming from this sinister and cynical policy of snatching them from their parents and rounding them up to be put in cages at such early and vulnerable stages of their lives. As an Irish philosopher and father, Mr. Chairman, of the modern conservatism and the movement of modern conservatism, as he once stated, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for the good men to do nothing. Mr. Chairman, we are at a pivotal time in our history, and we can no longer afford for good men to sit back, shake their heads in silence, or whisper about the wrongdoing privately being done behind the scenes. Now, no, Mr. Chairman, now is the time for Congress to grow a spine and reclaim our constitutional duty as an equal and separate branch of government, ready and willing and able to serve as a check to a president who has seemingly gone mad. Mr. Chairman, Proverbs 29:2, to quote the Bible, as the Attorney General tried to quote, but let's quote the Bible. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. Mr. Chairman, if not now, when? If not us, then who will speak out against this evil? I can assure you that this will not be the last time this issue comes up doing business before this subcommittee. And I urge all of my Republican colleagues to finally make their voices heard so we can truly represent the will and the spirit of the American people. Lastly, Mr. Chairman, as Alexander de Tocqueville once observed, America is great because America is good. If America ceases to be good, then America ceases to be great. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Time is